From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE as Dow Jones crashes, NASDAQ crashes, crypto crashes, all because of one thing. Target, not price target, the retailer. The retailer blowing out estimates and falling short across the board. In fact, they are not giving guidance on how bad their numbers were going to be when they reported corporate earnings this morning. The stock market today is down over 1,000 points. Stocks are down 4%. And this is big news because everyone is talking about your Build Back Better Act today. Good and bad, I'll have both sides of the equation. The Build Back Better Act would give you the $15,000 to $80,000 of additional checks on top of the 4 stimulus checks that have landed in every U.S. state. In this recording, you're going to understand why it's so important to get those 4 stimulus checks now in every U.S. state by becoming a member, going to the top of the chat and getting that incredible membership and newsletter Monday through Friday. Why is it so important? Because today was a pivotal day, a major important day in the landscape of stimulus. Why? Because one of the major retailers in the United States imploded in their corporate earnings and really took down the entire financial markets. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had an opinion about stimulus. Everyone had an opinion about recession, inflation, retail sales. And I'm going to give you the analysis and also the opinions in this recording. The good news is that I have found you checks. Viewers have gotten those checks, and they're not small. They're not $200. They're not $600. And the membership of this channel is clean up. One viewer overnight said, "Thank you, LA. I just got check B. I'm saving my home. I'm getting a massive payout of about $25,000, and I got money before from you as well, so we're over $35,000 in recent days." This is why the viewership of this channel is winning. You're also winning with information, because the shocker of Wall Street today was not a shocker to viewers, because I told you it was coming this week. I told you it was coming 2 weeks ago. What's going on? It's a major developing detail. Today was a pivotal day. You're not going to see a broadcast like this on Afternoons LA in a long time. It's a special report in which I'm going off a script and I'm giving you my analysis of an implosion of Target department stores in a corporate earnings report released minutes ago. It's breaking news. It's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day, and hopefully you do not own Target stocks because today the stock is down 25% in one day as Target misses on those corporate earnings. You've never seen a recording like this because I'm doing this recording different than ever before in the history of LA. What am I doing different? I'm not even bringing on set any notes about what went on today because it's one store, one story, and one big implosion of the financial markets, all caused by one announcement: the corporate earnings of Target this morning. If you don't shop at Target, if you don't buy at Target, if you don't care about corporations, guess what? The announcement today is everything that's going to impact your home, your rent, your utilities, your livelihood, the next 2 years of stimulus. It's a major developing detail, and I told you it was coming last week. Let's go over the details across the board. Going in today, I had told you we had a major problem at issue when talking about the Build Back Better Act and for stimulus. The issue is what's going to happen with those corporate earnings with those companies after we had big problems in the last 2 weeks from Walmart and Amazon. And I told you last weekend that Target was reporting corporate earnings on Wednesday. I told you watch for Target. I told you watch for Lowe's. I said that after Walmart reported incredibly bad earnings reports earlier this week and Amazon taking a massive dive 2 weeks ago as well. So what happened? Let me tell you what happened, then tell you why this is so big across the board. It's a special 1 hour broadcast, and remember that a 4 stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and later in this recording, state at the very end, I'm going to get you a check. I'm going to get you lots of checks. Thank goodness for you. Thank goodness for this channel, because I have found you massive checks up at $80,000 that are law now by Joe Biden. You need them, because the details I'm going to tell you what happened with Target today is very scary. But it shouldn't be a surprise to the viewership of this channel, because I've been telling you this for a while. Become a member, get that newsletter, and get those checks in every U.S. state. Stay with me. It's coming up later in this recording. Let's start with the significance of a corporate earnings report from Target. Target and Walmart collectively employ nearly 2 million Americans. So there's a lot on the table whenever Target or Walmart report corporate earnings. And which corporate earnings are they reporting? The first quarter of 2022. At the time, that was those months in which Putin invaded Ukraine. That was when we had not yet had really the supply chain disruption of China that we're having right now. That was when we were coming off of COVID. It was also when Target and Walmart were on a major hiring spree for you as employees. Major people going back in the department stores, we thought, to buy products, we thought. Major spending, we thought. Positive consumer sentiments, we thought. And that people had discretionary funds, that they were making more money from their employers, and that they had that money to spend. So we thought. Did not happen. The corporate earnings from Target today was astronomically horrific. First, let's go over the substance of the report, and then let's go over everything that's important that impacts you. First, the substance of the report. They missed on all the major numbers. Target reports that people were not coming into the stores, they were not buying the products, and that they had to increase the price of the products because they had to at Target because the supply chain disruption. Oil, shipping costs, yes. So the products went up in price. Did that turn away the consumer? It did. It said that the consumer that shopped at Target could not afford a higher price point on the same products. That's inflation. They could not afford a higher price of the same products because of inflation, because the quality or the walk of life of shopper at Target is not the same person who goes into Fendi or Cartier. That was the first situation. Second one. Target, as Walmart had reported, too many employees in the store. They had too many employees in the store. They hired too many people. They were not getting the demand, foot traffic in the store to offset the number of employees. You see how this is getting really bad very quickly? Yeah. Number three, the sales online were not the type of sales they thought. Number four, that the projections for the rest of the year are not going to be any better. Now, bad data? Yes, very bad data. Much different than Walmart? Not much different than Walmart, although Walmart said there was some seasonal issues at issue. When you look at Amazon 2 weeks ago, you look at Walmart earlier this week, you look at Target today, the collective statement of these number three biggest retailers in America that were able to survive the pandemic, make fortunes during the pandemic, are now imploding. They're now going down dramatically for a series of the same reasons. One, the consumer ain't buying. The consumer that shops at those stores aren't buying. Let's remember, this is not a consumer that's buying a brand new Tesla or going and buying a brand new Fendi purse. This is the consumer that's trying to shop for the best price on your detergent brand. Yes, and the detergent brand went up $2.50 more from its price point of $2. That consumer may not be buying the product. That's what Target, Walmart, and Amazon reported. Number two, Target, Walmart, and Amazon had to increase the price of the product because of the gasoline. They couldn't afford to have the same price point and deliver less bottom line, less revenue. Were they able to get the consumer to buy at the highest price point? No. Were the consumers generally coming to the stores? No. Were there more sellers, more employees in the store? A lot more. Too much hiring? Yes. Overhiring? Yes. Not enough of the demand? Yes. What does this mean for this economy? What happened when Target, before even, I think it was even 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, it came in, I believe, at almost 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I heard the news at almost 4 a.m. this morning, West Coast time. When Target announced the news, Target was already in the pre-dawn, the pre-hours, trading down 25%. One day. Yeah. By the time it opened, it imploded. With it, it brought down everyone else. Why is this so big? For a series of major reasons. Number one, Target and Walmart, which has all the resources to gauge this economy, to prepare for this economy, to outdo the mom and pop, as they did during the pandemic, got it very wrong. They got it very wrong. What were they doing? They weren't watching this channel. They weren't listening with you and I. I had told you back in April that the growth rate of the U.S. economy was shrinking dramatically, that we weren't at 7.1% growth, we were at 6.9% growth. But we're talking about Q1. At that time, those companies like Target, Walmart, and Amazon were thinking about 17% growth rate like 2021. And then it came in at 6%. And now it's heading to 3.7%. If you staff a store based upon 17% growth year to date and you only get 3% growth, you're going to lose your shirt. And that's what happened to Target and Walmart, and also happened to Amazon. When the news broke today, stocks are dramatically down. It was one of the biggest bleeds that we've seen in a while. A while? About a week. We've had another 1,000 down day on the stock market last week, in the last 2 weeks as well. And this is why analysts have really gotten it wrong, and I've gotten it right. It was over the weekend I ran those quotes where people said the bleeding's almost done, or the bleeding's done. Bleeding is not done. It's just starting. And number two, this is a big surprise. And a lot of people had very critical comments about it. I'm not going to run their critical comments because it's very deep and dark. But they were not happy that Target gave no indication of this coming before the train crashed. Why is this so important for you? Why is this so important for me? Because when I'm delivering to you the importance of stimulus and big force stimulus shocks in every U.S. state, I'm telling you what's coming on the horizon. I'm going off the data that's reported to us from the economic elements like Department of Labor and the Social Security and the federal government and also the corporations. But if the corporations don't give us guidance as what's happening later this year, I don't have the data. And that's what happened in the case of Target. Target was slammed dramatically in the press today for not giving it any guidance on this bad news, not giving any guidance that this is happening. And guess who is not alone on that? We had the same thing happen with Apple 2 weeks ago, giving us guidance that the third quarter is going to be very bad for supply chain disruption. They did not know that earlier this year. They didn't give us guidance. Amazon plummeting. Walmart plummeting. No guidance across the board. And this is big when we talk about your money, because ultimately we're gauging how much money you can get, and we don't have a gauge of how desperate it is to get that money. Then we're not rushing as quickly as we can rush. This brings us back to those two words on this channel: tough love. I can give you tough love, but I don't always know how tough the love needs to be. Today, Target gave us indication that I should have been much tougher on you. The four stimulus checks in every U.S. state I've been saying for a while you need to get because we're going to recession. I did not know that we're going to have a major implosion so quickly, so fast in May. I thought we were going to generally decrease, as I said, down to 0% in growth by the end of the year. I thought that the gradual decrease would be caused by Jay Powell, that Jay Powell was missing things up, and that Jay Powell was thinking it causes us to slump. No, now we have another problem. The problem is just the U.S. economy shrinking without Jay Powell's involvement. Yeah. Temple of Doom, 2022. Well, there's Part A and Part B. Part A is Jay Powell. Part B is the economy. The Temple of Doom, Part B for 2022 is the economy. It's not doing well, and it's going to get really bad very quickly. Let's bring us to those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state, and then bring you back to Build Back Better Act. I told you this is a video you've never seen like this before, and you should be scared in your socks about what happened today. Let me go to the Build Back Better Act and also those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. A four stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and the members of this channel who have gotten their membership signed up, who have applied for the check, have not run this faux narrative, this fake narrative, that nothing, no one, nowhere, no how, no who, no this, no that, have not run that fake narrative of no's, have gotten big checks. The people who run those no's are people who are looking for a rosy end to this year, a rosy summer. That rosy date is not coming. It ain't coming. The four stimulus checks in every U.S. state are there. They are coming. Direct deposit across the board. And that is why it's so important for you to pounce and get those incredible checks across the land. We're going to go over how to get those incredible four stimulus checks later in this recording. But let's bring it back to the reaction to Target today and what analysts were saying about Build Back Better Act. You know, I've been doing this for a while, and always when there's economic news that comes out, Republicans say one thing and Democrats say something else. But sometimes what they're going to say is very predictable. Today, they said something Just truly unbelievable. When Target reported these horrible numbers earlier today, Representative Brady, who's a very staunch Republican, appeared on broadcast news, and he said this is exactly the Target reporting of corporate earnings is exactly why you don't do Build Back Better Act. Excuse me? Why was his rationale for that? His rationale for that was that the Build Back Better Act will cause more inflation, and the reason why Target did badly today was because of inflation. So he's misinterpreting the Target data, and then he's also giving misguidance about inflation. Remember, none of this works across the board, but this is what's going to be happening, and that's why you need to stay here. You're going to see this very pronounced, much more so, in the next 90 days. In the next 90 days, you're going to hear Republicans run a fake narrative of why Build Back Better Act hurts. Even Joe Manchin may say it as well. That Build Back Better Act hurts this and hurts that, and you need to do this and you need to do that. Let me tell you what their narrative is, to quote Brady today. What they're saying is that Build Back Better Act increases inflation. It doesn't increase inflation. When the federal government spends, that's increasing the national deficit. It does not impact inflation whatsoever. Number two, they're saying that the people who need assistance right now, this is Republicans talking, the people who need assistance right now are small business owners and corporations of America. You know what? That's just darn ridiculous. I mean, it's just darn ridiculous. It is absolutely, yeah, I was about to curse. It is so insane. The Target report said that they could not get the consumer in the stores, the consumers could not afford the goods, that the inflationary pressures that have driven up the products that people shop at Target because they shop at Target because of low prices were turning them away. This is why Dollar General and Dollar Tree were down dramatically today. People going to Dollar Tree are not people who are buying a $75,000 purse. These are people who are trying to cut costs. And that stock fell as well. And so for Republicans to say, hey, we need to give more benefits to corporations to battle this. No, that's exactly what's wrong. What's wrong is that people cannot afford to live in the current economic environment when they're low income or they're on benefits. And how dare the Republicans say, let's give more money to corporate America? It's a day like this is exactly when you don't give more money to corporate America. Corporate America is missing because they misguided things when they should know better. Whether it's Walmart or Target or Amazon, they have a full ability financially to afford the most brilliant minds for financial analysis. And they should know where this economy is going. They could even tune into this channel for free and learn about what's going on with recession and GDP and growth. And for them to get it so wrong, it shows there's something wrong in the company. And these Republicans want to give money to those corporations? No, we're not giving more money to corporations. No, not happening. How about small business owners? Small business owners, giving more money to small business owners? Well, the small business owners are not being hurt because they can't run their business. They're being hurt because they don't have the consumer. They don't have the consumer. The consumer can't go in the small business and buy the products. And the consumer's not in the store to buy the products. What are you going to do? Give the business owner a $5,000 grant? $10,000, another EIDL grant? Guess what? You still don't have a consumer in the store. If you don't have a consumer, this is where a situation gets very entangled. This is why the Target report today, as I told you, is a major turning day on this channel. Why? Because it tells you that everything that I said was coming came sooner. It tells you that everything that I warned about may be right around the horizon. Number one, we already knew we're going to recession. Number two, we already knew that inflation is not going to come down. But we didn't know that the major U.S. retailers like Target and Walmart are now saying, we have too many employees on our floors. We need to let some of those people go. We need to start laying people off. They didn't inherently say that, so I don't want to cause any cause of alarm. They did not announce formal layoffs, but they did say we have too many employees on our stores. We can't do this. You know what's next. You know what's next. When corporations that have absolutely done wonderful during the pandemic, like a Target or Walmart or Amazon, saying we have too many employees, what's going to happen? They're going to have less employees. They're going to lay you off. They're going to lay you off, whether it's Netflix who laid people off last week or whether it's Uber says it's a privilege to work with our company. Yeah, they're no longer giving you bonuses. They're no longer hunting you down. They're start going to lay people off. They got too many employees. What's next? As you go into recession, then they have hiring freezes. This is where it's coming very quickly, very soon. You know, before I went on camera, because I told you this is a free-form recording like you've never seen before, this is why you like me. This is why I like you, because when I have a reaction like I do today, this is news, I deliver it viscerally. I don't prepare. I don't go think it through in my mind. I deliver it like it's coming right out of the mouth. The target numbers show you that consumer confidence is down, despite what analysts say. It shows you that consumers do not have money to spend in discretionary funds. Number three, that they're really dipping in their savings, and they can't dip into those savings indefinitely. What do? They just don't buy. That's why Target did not have the people in the stores. Next, when going back to the Republicans saying that the individuals will not need stimulus, because if they get more stimulus, then the situation is going to be worse. No. The problem that's hitting Target today is they don't have consumers. They don't have people in the stores to spend money on. That is why Walmart and Target made so much money last year. We all know that. They actually gave us the quote. That's why they made so much money in 2020 and 2021, because they actually said people got that stimulus check and went right in the store and started spending money. When you have a stimulus check, you spend the money on the big box retailers, and their earnings go through the roof. When they don't have money, they don't spend. So what do? You bail out the corporations? No, you need to bail out the people who can't afford to live. If people don't have money to buy soap and detergent, toiletries, because it's gone up 50% in valuation, I'm just giving you an example, I'm not saying that's how much they've gone up in price escalation, then guess what? They're not going to buy it. Or they're going to be more rational about where to buy it and how to buy it. What's at issue is that the Democrats, on the other hand, are the party in control. So now we're going to turn the focus right now. Democrats are the party in control. You know what I'm thinking. You exactly know what I'm thinking. This is like the middle of 2020. When the Democrats are sitting back and remember the blue dogs and remember the problem solvers, remember all those groups in 2020, they said, we have a big problem. We're not addressing the problem. The Republicans are not addressing the problem. We need to get these problems solved. What are the Democrats doing? Nothing. They are doing nothing. This was exactly the rallying cry of the Democrats when Trump was in office. Now that Trump is not in office and Biden's in office, Democrats are literally silent. They're silent on the exact same things that they were so visceral about in 2020. I don't want to scare you. I really don't want to scare you. But I could totally feel in my heart of hearts that this economy goes the way it's going, that we're going to start talking about, let's bring back some FPUC, let's bring back some PUA, let's bring back some UI with extended weeks of benefits, because people are going to start being laid off. People will not have jobs. They'll be hiring freezes, and guess what? You're going to need unemployment benefits again. Yeah, I told you this was a day like no others. Now let's talk about why a day like this is so cataclysmic to this economy. It's cataclysmic because it causes a chain reaction. I've always talked to you about the ability to know the news before it hits, and that's why you watch this channel. But I always talk to you about the issue about when other people are going to learn about the news. When are other people going to learn about there's something wrong in the economy? If they didn't get it 2 weeks ago, they got it today. They got it today. If they're not a viewer of this channel, they learned that their stocks have lost astronomical amounts of valuation in the last 2 weeks. They went to perhaps look at their stocks today and they're down 4% in 24 hours. 4% in 24 hours. Their stocks include stocks that are not supposed to go down when Target goes down. Let's say like an Apple, like a Tesla. They may own a tech stock, they may own a bellwether, and yet they're going down in the view of bad retail sales. They don't own retail stocks. I don't want to own retail stocks. Why are my stocks which stack going down? Then the bond yields. The bond yields staying a little bit under 290. Crypto crashing down 3%, everything. 3%, 4% in 24 hours again. It's just day after day after that. And then the housing numbers that are coming on later this week. Very bad across the board. If you forgot, it's less than 24 hours since this guy, Jay Powell, had astronomically horrible remarks that you thought those remarks were worst alone before I even got to Target. What did Jay Powell say last night? Jay Powell says, I'm going to hit this inflation as hard as I can hit the hammer on it until it comes down. Basically saying he's going to do a half basis point as long as he wants to until he gets that inflation down. Folks, I've already told you he ain't going to get inflation down by raising interest rates. So now he's saying he's going to do it harder than ever before and longer than ever before, more months out into the future. He's still going to do that when there's no one in the Target stores buying, when there's no one in the Walmart stores buying. Yeah, it is like a tsunami is hitting, and then Jay Powell is standing there on the beach plugging in the portable fan. Yeah. It's like he doesn't see a tsunami is blowing everything around and he's plugging in the fan. Let's fan some stuff off. Let's blow some stuff up. He's there with a big pile of feathers and blowing on things. You know, Jay Powell, you got it really wrong. The administration's got it really wrong. The Republicans have got it really wrong. Everyone's got it really wrong. And Target didn't tell you it was wrong. Target didn't tell you it was going to get really bad. I did. And that is why it's important to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. That is why it's important to watch this channel. That is why it's important to get off of that notion that you're going to do what you did in 2020 or do what you did in 2021, because this, folks, is going to get very dark very quickly. Yeah, tough love, lots of tough love in today's video. And that is why I'm going to go right into that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. That is why we ain't waiting a second. Become a member. Go right to the top of this chat right now. Become a member. Are you a member? You better not wait. Get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I got to tell you, if you see a tsunami hitting, guess what happens? People start calling and getting insurance. Let's get tsunami insurance because I didn't know a tsunami's hitting. Well, it's just like that right now. A tsunami's hitting and I'm saying go get some cash. Well, you got the cash first. That maybe people just found the channel in the last few days. Guess what's going to happen by the summer? This channel is going to be on fire. People are going to be like, wait a second. I just got laid off. I need more money. Do they have that FPUC from 2 years ago? No, we don't. Not yet. Do we have a stimulus check come in by direct deposit for everyone? They don't have to do anything. That I just sit back and I get $20,000. Whatever happened to those MSCs where we just get $24,000 for blinking our eyes and smiling? Nope. I'm going to say you should have been staying on this channel every single day and every single week and getting these big checks, these forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Am I scaring the bejesus out of you? I think I am, but I think I'm doing it with a lot of love. I love the comment by that wonderful viewer overnight. Said, thank you, LA. You know, I didn't think that I was going to get check B, and I got it. And I got a lot of money. And I'm getting more money, and I got money before. I love that. Because she understood that you never know if you're going to get all the pots of money. All you got to do is make the effort. And you got to make the effort right away. And with that, let's go over how to get that incredible sums of money. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. And the importance of that forced stimulus check starts with getting the membership of this channel signed up. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Then get in that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. After the commercial break, we're going to go over these incredible checks and how to get them. Now that you understand that the economic data that came in today was about as scary can be, that the data delivered to you over the last 4 months was accurate, but actually saw it further out to sea. It's onshore right now, folks. It's onshore right now. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds, but first here's a little bit about the members community page as Afternoons LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. The excitement continues right now on Afternoons LA as breaking news comes in with those horrific earnings reports from Target. More about that later in this video, but first, after this commercial break, we're going over those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. It starts by becoming a member, getting that newsletter Monday through Friday, and getting those checks. How do you get them? We're starting with them right now. If you're a member of this channel, pull out that membership newsletter and follow along as we go into incredible details. And if you're not, become a member right this very moment. It was back in March that I looked at the situation for the Build Back Better Act, and we were 1 month into my recordings on this channel when I said we're going to recession. I had said we're going into recession in February 2022. And I said, you know what? It's going to get really bad later this year as we're going to go from 7% projected growth in April to 0 and then negative. So what did I do? I looked high and low to find you a 4 stimulus check. A 4 stimulus check that would have come by another way other than Congress. Because Congress is not getting that Build Back Better Act done in February. And then I found it. The president announcing 1, then 2nd, and then a residue of more checks from 3rd. Coming by executive order. Thank goodness. Hours of research go into this channel to deliver you the news and to find you checks. I've been finding people checks since December 2020. I know the importance of economic stress on you financially. And when Congress drags their feet or doesn't get things done, it's my job to step up and find it right away. And that's why I've gotten people over $50 million on this channel over the last 2 years. The great news right now is that a 4 stimulus check is in every U.S. state. That 4 stimulus check is for you. Let's go over broadly what we know the elements of the 4 stimulus checks are, and then we go over the specifics of each 4 stimulus check thereafter. First, this 4 stimulus check that is in every U.S. state has the same income qualification as your 3rd stimulus check. So, if you make $75,000 or less, or you're a married couple and make $150,000 less, you can get it. If you're on benefits like Social Security, Veterans Benefits, SSI or SSDI, you can get it as well. If you're a renter, you can get it. If you're a homeowner, you can get it. If you're in any U.S. state, you can get it. And let's go over all the incredible details of those 4 stimulus checks starting right now, with the remembering that these are not measly $200 checks. These are upwards of $80,000 by direct deposit. Check number A, or check A. The numbering or lettering system on this channel, it's something I created, so don't presume that someone else in the White House has said, oh, here's a check A. No, it's how I name them for you, so I keep it simple. Check A is a 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state and is $6,500 to $12,000. That 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state is called the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check. How do you get that check A? Upwards of $12,000. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, go into that newsletter delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. How do you apply for check A? You go into the newsletter. Once in the newsletter, as a member, you go right down to check A, and there it is. It delivers you the link to apply online. You're applying online for that check A. You go right in there, choose your state, choose the weatherizing grant, and you apply. Let's go to check B, as one viewer overnight got approved. Congratulations to her. She found that direct deposit of $25,000 overnight. That's not the first check she's gotten from this channel. That's just the check she got from check B. Congratulations to her. Other viewers have gotten on average $66,000 to $80,000. What is this check? It is check B. 4 stimulus check? Yes. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Married couple, $150,000 or less. It's called the Homeowners Grant Check. And how do you get that? Step 1, become a member. Step 2, open that newsletter Monday through Friday. Go into the incredible check B. It's right under check A in the newsletter. And there's a link to go right in and apply. You apply. You get your name and address in there. You apply as quickly as possible. And get that incredible check as that viewer did overnight. Check C is a 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. It is for renters. I'll say it again. It is for renters and homeowners. It's $2,000 a month over 12 months on average, and boy, is a lot of money. Average view of this channel has gotten $45,000 from it. In the last few days, we've had some huge success stories. If you've had a success story from any of these checks, recent or less recent, send to me on private message on Facebook or also post in the live chat, and I will feature on air. I've been getting a lot of success stories. Haven't had the time to deliver them all together on air, but I will be in the next coming days. Check C is your rent, your utilities, your mortgage assistance, and more. You're going to reach out to a series of places. Where do you reach out to? Step 1, you open that membership newsletter. Step 2, you go down to Check C. At Check C, you're not applying online. You are picking up the phone and calling. You're calling to get that rent, that utility, that mortgage assistance. You're contacting at least 15 places, and you're pushing and pouncing. And that money is there. You go get it. The viewership of this channel has cleaned up on that Check C because I've been featured on this channel for over 2 years. It was initially called Purple on this channel, then it was called Third Stimulus. Now I call it Fourth Stimulus. It's huge sums of money that viewership of this channel have gotten. Let's look at the notion of why it's so important to continually go back and get more Check C. You get a little bit of Check C and you get more across the board. Let's look at some success stories. First, we have Mark, who was at 20,000, then he went to 30,000, 50, 100, now at 166,000. Lorraine, 105, now over 150,000. Nisi, then at 23, then about 30, then 40, then nearly almost $60,000. Mark telling his brother-in-law, getting Snap $15,000. And growing it to 25,000 over 10 years, $250,000, $15,000 on utilities. That is why it's important to get these great sums of money when they're available across the board. We got competing forces. We have Republicans and Democrats. Remember, Build Back Better Act does not need a single Republican vote if they do it by recon. But they got to get Sinema and Manchin on board as well. Not a lot of reaction yet by Chris and Sinema and Manchin to today's developing details, but what do Republicans talk about when they heard the news from Target today? They said you should not be raising corporate taxes on corporations that are making less money in view of the inflationary pressures and recessionary oncomings in the horizon. Is that accurate? Well, it sort of is. But on the other hand, let's make this very clear. Joe Biden's not raising corporate taxes a lot. He's raising it from 25 to 28%. It's just 3%. It's not like they can't afford it. Now, when we're talking about small business owners, that could make the big difference. I see the point there. But when Kristen Sinema says, I don't want to touch corporate taxes at all, we have to touch something to pay for Build Back Better Act. Joe Manchin does want to pay for Build Back Better Act by raising corporate taxes. What's important to understand is that I always wonder where things could be going and how quickly they could be heading there. In February this year, I said we're going to recession for 2 years, starting in January 2023. And I said we're going to go from 7% projected GDP growth in April down to 0 by the end of the year. Well, we're shrinking really quickly, folks. We're shrinking really quickly. I could darned guess what the GDP is right now, but it's likely somewhere in the fives. Wall Street says it's going to 4. I don't think it's going all the way down to 0 and then negative. What about inflation? Well, inflation ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Jay Powell keeps on thinking he's going to raise those interest rates to battle inflation. He ain't. And tonight on Ian's LA, we're going to go over more of the detail of why it's not working. But what's going to happen is a horizon in which people who have learned about what's coming 3 months ahead of time from watching this channel are going to be so much more financially prepared. You, as a member, you, as a Purple Hawk, you, as a Purple Power or Calcino VIP, or as a longtime subscriber, have watched the videos daily on this channel, hourly on this channel, and you've learned and listened how we have gone from an economy booming in early 2022 to battling bad inflation by early 2022, then battling 3 supply chain disruptions, now battling contracting economies, now heading into recession, now with companies saying, we have too many of you on the floor. We don't need as many employees as we need. That's scary words. That means that layoffs are next on the horizon. That means the unemployment numbers, which was one of the best parts of this economy, are not going to stay good. That means that the discretionary spending, the consumer confidence is not going to stay there as well. Data is going to change very quickly. It depends on what type of walk of life you live. But if you're on benefits, you're hurting because of inflation. If you are low income, you're hurting because of inflation. If you're middle class, you're hurting because your stocks or your bonds, your 1099, your retirement plan is down dramatically. If you're a homeowner, you're hurting dramatically because you're worried that the flexible mortgage rate you have is going up too quickly, or you're worried that the valuation of the home may have gone down if you just bought it recently. If you're a renter, you're very worried that the price of rent is going up, and yet you're not making more money at work, and you're worried whether you're going to get laid off as well. Yeah, see how things change so quickly? See how things changed so quickly? Go away for 3 months and think, oh, there's jobs everywhere. There's a big demand for jobs, and everything is going to be great. And then you come back and you come to May and you say, wait a second, what happened? What about 24 hours ago? No. What about last Saturday? Yes. Last Saturday, I told you who was reporting corporate earnings this week, and I said, get ready for the day when it's Target and Lowe's to report. I said, we already know what happened with Walmart this month. We already know what happened with Amazon. I want to see those Target numbers. I want to see those Lowe's numbers. Folks, it's just starting. That's why it's so important for you to stay on message. Anyone who doesn't take the time or effort to know, learn, or listen, or apply, or bounce, it's your fault. It's all your fault. You come into a video and you only read the title and you don't want to listen to the video. You just want to read 4 words in a title and stop at that, and you don't want to listen to a video. It's your fault. It's all your fault. It's like the person who simply relies upon the data from 3 months ago, or the data from last week, or the data from a month ago. You don't want to learn anything new day in, day out. You just want to read 4 words and ask for a big payout of wands and checks in your hands. I got to tell you, if I was going to predict anything for the next few months, this is what I predict. That between now, May, and August, you're going to see the growth of this channel and the growth of this community skyrocket. Because suddenly people are going to realize, wait a second, is there money out there? It's not supposed to. Is there stimulus out there, or is it not? Is it stimulus in a different way because this is a very, very problematic economy? Is it stimulus, a big wands of money that I need to do something to get? Or is it just I sit back and I hold the donut and I put my feet up in the chair and watch watch the donut machine make more donuts? You're going to learn very quickly how you're going to be head of the ball game. You're going to be head of everything that's at issue because you're going to pounce and get those big checks today. You're not going to wait for something in the future. You're not going to read 4 words and call it a day. You're going to listen to the whole video throughout the entire recording, because somewhere in that recording, you may have a wake-up call that you did not get earlier this week, maybe this month. And that wake-up call may be the one that says, wait a second. LALATE's giving me very dire news about where things are going. I better go get some money. And I'm seeing people in the live chat, they're getting money. Why aren't I getting the money? I need to go get that money right today. It's like this morning where there was an article talking about Mark Cuban of the Mavericks, who I grew up and I used to go to tech events sitting next to, talking about $10,000 of student loan debt. Bad reporting, very bad reporting. Because I read the article, I thought, oh, did Biden do the $10,000? No, he did not do the $10,000. So that's the example of bad reporting. Someone reading an article thinking that maybe there's $10,000 of student loan debt forgiven. There wasn't. Someone sitting around and thinking, oh, we're just doing 2 interest rate spikes. We're not. We're going to do a lot more. Someone sitting around and saying, oh, Build Back Better Act could send us a check in the next few days. What about those YouTubers who just talk about things that are going to come in the future and the future and the future and the future? I don't have time for the future. I got to deal with the present. I do not have time for the future. I do not have time to tell you what's coming in 5 weeks from now or 5 months from now. I need to get you cash today. That's why we're winning. That's why you're winning. That's why you're ahead. That is why you're not going to be left behind. That's why you're with me going into this new economic calamity. You may not have been with me when March 2020 started, because this channel had just started as well. This time around, I am giving you the news of where we're heading before we're there. And that is why you will be ahead of the ball game before anyone else. Everyone else is going to be left behind. You won't, because you're going to get these incredible checks today. You ain't going to wait. Step 1, you're going to go to the top of this channel and subscribe right now. Subscribe right this moment to this channel. Don't wait. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. And step 4, set that bell at the front of this channel to all notifications because you can't miss a video. You can't just show up and watch one video today because over this broadcast of a single day, there's a lot of videos happening and the news is changing by the hour. Stay with me and stay with LA for more. See you next on Evenings with the breaking news tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.